Hey everybody, Dan here with Pain Free You. So today's topic is, I've been doing this TMS recovery for years. Why hasn't it worked? So, I'm sure there's a good number of you wondering that. And it may also apply to people who have done the TMS, got some results, and then it kind of plateaued, or stopped, or reversed. So I'll get to all that stuff. Long weekend, Sunday night. Hope everybody's well. Had a good weekend. Alright, so I've been doing this TMS work for a long time. And it either hasn't worked, or it worked initially, but now it's not working anymore. Symptoms came back, or I hit a plateau, or whatever it may be. But you're basically getting frustrated and impatient. So, sometimes we get pretty inspired, optimistic. The fear drops, and we start to see some results. But then at some point, the results kind of plateau or whatever. So how do we hit the reset button so we can actually continue to make progress? So let's kind of look at first what might be going on. Frustration, fear, impatience. You know, we get a little bit of progress and then it stops. How do you respond to that? With more clarity, calm, certainty, reminding yourself it's all temporary? Or do you start to get a little bit irritated or frustrated and impatient and bothered by the symptoms again? Right? I'm going to encourage that you hit a reset, because some people will actually say, you know, I've been doing this work for X number of years. You know, I made some progress, but can't finish the job for whatever reason. Maybe it's not TMS. It is. If you made progress with this work, it is a mind-body thing. So accept that. If you're uncertain, reset. Go do the assessments again. Don't talk yourself into believing it's something else, that maybe the doctors missed something just because this didn't work. You know, sometimes this approach doesn't work because you're still very afraid of the symptoms, fear-focused symptom attention, it's consuming you. And if you are uncertain about the cause and you are fearfully focused on the symptoms, it's very possible that that is exactly why you're not making progress. And this isn't said to blame you or shame you or say this is your fault that you're not getting better. Here's a really good question to ask yourself if you're not making the progress you would like in this mind-body journey. How bothered am I by the symptoms? How bothered am I? If your answer is anything but not bothered at all, you're still got a lot of fear and attention and worry and trying to fix it and really have a lot of resistance to the symptoms. And when you resist and fight the symptoms, they stick around longer. So see if you can move towards unbothered. And a lot of people will go, how can I be unbothered? The symptoms suck. They hurt. They're uncomfortable. They're disabling even. How can I be unbothered by this? Got to go back to square one. What's causing the symptoms in the first place? The perception of danger. Does it apply to me? Do the assessments. And if it does, then it's a false alarm. It's a false perception of danger that's causing the symptoms, which means you're really okay. I know you don't feel okay, but you're really okay. And when you get it from here to here, it becomes a lot easier to be unbothered by the symptoms. So, are you still bothered by the symptoms? You know, most of the time, no, but sometimes I am. okay. Sometimes is enough to sometimes keep it around, right? And I'm not saying things have to be perfect. We're all human beings. We're all going to be bothered by our symptoms at certain periods of time, but try not to live in that bothered state all the time. Get bothered, be annoyed, feel it, and put it down and get on with your day. And if symptoms show up again, remind yourself, I know what that is. I'm not sick, I'm not broken. I've done the assessments, I've done my homework, I've watched the videos, listened to podcasts, I've read the books, all sorts of stuff. I know what it is. So why am I bothered? It's the brain sounding a false alarm. If you're afraid of your brain, you got to realize it's your brain. You get to control what you input so that the output comes out with a better result. Control the inputs into your thinking brain. It's a brilliant computer, but you got to program it the right way. So every day I'm here trying to help you understand the right way to set the right expectations, the right mindset, the right knowledge to understand that you're really not broken, so that you can have the clarity necessary to really say, I know it's this. I'm not hurt. I'm not broken. I'm not sick. I'm not damaged. And I know that with consistent, calm, clarity, and being unbothered by the symptoms as much as possible, I'm going to start moving forward again in this journey. So if you've been at it for a long time, don't convince yourself, well, it hasn't happened yet, Dan, so it's probably not going to happen. Maybe I got to start looking at some other avenues, like going back to the medical world. I can assure you, if the medical world did not help you the first go-around, it's not likely to help you the second go-around. Evaluate. How bothered are you by the symptoms? If you're bothered by them, that may be just enough to keep them going. Have you plateau or have symptoms come back? If symptoms are getting worse, it's very, very likely the fear and the preoccupation and the being consumed by the symptoms is getting worse. And so if you're in a flare, the best way out of a flare is not to get more upset and more doubt, because that's what causes flares in the first place. It's get more clarity and less bothered. So I hope this makes sense. I believe it does. I see this stuff every day. If anybody wants some more help, consider the group coaching. Go to painfreeyougroup.com. I show up on Zoom for 12 hours a week. And you can show up, get your questions answered. People share their success stories and progress reports. But for the most part, it's a Q&A format. You can pop in, leave once your question is answered. The sessions are long. They last up to 3 hours. And I do one on Monday, one on Tuesday, and 2 on Wednesday. But if you want some assistance, some direct help in a conversation with me, that's the best way to get it. For $100 for a whole month, you can access 16 sessions out of the month for the $100. It's an incredible value for what you pay. I also have a video course as part of that $100. And there are PDF documents that will map out visually the things I teach all the time, and access to a private Facebook community just for the paid members. So if you want some help, you don't have to stay for 6 years. Some people come in for a month, get their questions answered, then they get back on track and do it themselves. Some people come in, they love the community, they love the regular assistance and getting their questions answered on a frequent basis, and stay as long as you want, but you can cancel anytime. So I'm going to wrap it up. By the way, the book should be out first week of January, I think around the 7th. Finalizing some things. I'm going out to a recording studio early December to do the audio book. Finalizing the final proofreading of the manuscript. The book cover design is pretty well done, and so getting close, down to the home stretch. So I love you, folks, and as always, we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.